Why modern loneliness is the greatest threat to your physical health in retirement. Most people think loneliness only affects your emotions, but researchers now believe it can affect your heart, your immune system, and even how long you live. So why does simply spending more time alone change what happens inside your body? Stay with me for the next few minutes. By the end, you will understand exactly what is happening, and more importantly, exactly what you can do about it. Retirement is supposed to feel like freedom. No more alarm clocks, no more meetings, no more rushing out the door. And for a while, it usually does feel wonderful. But something quieter happens underneath that freedom, and almost nobody warns you about it. For decades, your job gave you built-in human contact. Co-workers who knew your coffee order, small talk in the hallway, a sense of being needed somewhere every single day. When that disappears, it doesn't just leave a hole in your schedule, it leaves a hole in your sense of connection. Routines disappear too. The school run, the commute, the lunch break with the same familiar faces. Those small daily rhythms used to put you in contact with other people without you even trying. Then there are the adult children. Many of them now live in another city, another state, sometimes another country. You love hearing from them, but a phone call once a week is not the same as a shared meal or a hug. For some, there is an even deeper loss. Losing a spouse after decades together does not just take away a partner. It takes away the person who shared your inside jokes, your daily conversation, your sense of being truly known by someone. And even the small, almost invisible moments fade. The chat with a cashier, the wave from a neighbor, the spontaneous conversation that used to happen a dozen times a day without any planning at all. It is important to understand something here. Loneliness is not the same as solitude. Solitude is enjoying your own company, reading a book in a quiet room, tending your garden in peaceful silence. That can be healthy and even restorative. Loneliness is different. It is the painful feeling of being disconnected, even if people are around you. You can be lonely in a crowded retirement community. You can be lonely while living with a spouse. Loneliness is not about how many people are nearby. It is about how connected you feel to them. Now here is where it gets interesting, because this is the part most people never learn. Researchers at institutions like the National Institutes of Health have spent years studying what chronic loneliness actually does inside the body. And what they have found is surprising. When you feel persistently isolated, your body interprets that as a threat, almost the same way it would respond to physical danger. This triggers a slow, steady release of stress hormones like cortisol. In short bursts, cortisol is helpful. It is what helped your ancestors survive emergencies. But when it stays elevated for months or years, it quietly wears down your body. One of the first things affected is inflammation. Think of inflammation like a smoke alarm in your house. It is supposed to go off only when there is an actual fire, alert your immune system, and then turn off. But chronic loneliness can leave that alarm stuck in the on position. Over time, that constant low-grade inflammation has been linked to heart disease, joint pain, and a weakened immune system. The American Heart Association has highlighted social isolation as a genuine risk factor for cardiovascular problems in the same category as other well-known concerns, like inactivity or poor diet. Your heart, quite literally, responds to how connected you feel. But here is the good news. That same alarm system that gets stuck in the on position can be switched off again. Researchers have found that rebuilding social connection can actually lower inflammation and ease the strain on your heart. Your body is not broken, it is simply waiting for the signal that it's safe, and that signal is connection. Loneliness also seems to affect the brain. Some studies suggest that older adults experiencing chronic loneliness face a higher risk of cognitive decline. Researchers believe this may be connected to how social engagement keeps the brain active, almost like exercise keeps your muscles strong. Then there is sleep. Many people who feel isolated report more restless nights, more tossing and turning, more waking up at 3 in the morning with their mind racing. Poor sleep then makes everything else harder, including mood, memory, and energy. And of course, there is depression. Loneliness and depression often travel together, each one quietly making the other worse. Here is the good news again, and it's worth holding on to. None of this is permanent. Sleep improves once stress eases. Mood lifts once connection returns. The brain stays remarkably capable of building new habits and new relationships at any age. Your biology is not working against you, and you have far more power over it than you might think. Here is what surprised researchers the most. The health risks connected to chronic loneliness appear to be comparable to some of the most well-known dangers we already take seriously, like smoking or obesity. Not because being alone is dangerous in itself, but because the body was never designed to handle disconnection for years at a time. But there is another reason loneliness has become so common today, and almost nobody talks about it. We live in a world that was never designed for the kind of deep, regular human contact our grandparents experienced. Many suburbs are built around cars, not sidewalks, which means fewer chance encounters with neighbors. Front porches have been replaced by back patios. Many of us now go entire weeks without a real face-to-face conversation that wasn't scheduled in advance. Even some retirement communities, despite being full of people, can feel surprisingly isolating. Everyone assumes someone else will organize the gathering, and everyone assumes someone else will knock on the door first. And so days pass, then weeks, with pleasant nods in the hallway but no real connection underneath. This is not anyone's fault. It is simply how modern life quietly evolved. But understanding it is the first step toward changing it. Let me tell you about someone named Robert. Robert spent 41 years working as an electrician. He raised 2 children, helped coach a little league team, and always had somewhere to be. When he finally retired, he felt like he had earned the rest. For the first few months, it was wonderful. He slept in, he fixed things around the house, and he finally had time for the crossword every morning. But slowly, almost without noticing, things began to shift. He found himself staying up later, scrolling through the television without really watching anything. His appetite changed. Cooking for one felt pointless, so dinner became whatever was easiest, usually something out of a box. He stopped his morning walks because, as he put it, there didn't seem to be a reason to hurry anywhere anymore. His daughter called every Sunday and he always told her he was fine. And in a way, he believed it. He didn't feel sad exactly. He just felt quiet and flat, tired in a way that sleep didn't seem to fix. It wasn't until his doctor gently asked him how often he talked to another person face to face during a typical week that something clicked. Robert realized he sometimes went 4 or 5 days without a real conversation. A neighbor mentioned a walking group that met at the local park every Tuesday and Thursday morning. Robert almost didn't go, but he told himself he would try it once. That once turned into a habit. The walking itself helped his body, but it was the conversation along the way that changed something deeper. He started looking forward to Tuesdays. A few months later, he began volunteering at the community center, helping younger guys learn basic home repair skills. Robert will tell you today that he didn't fix his health by changing his diet or starting a new exercise plan. He fixed it by rebuilding connection. The walks naturally got him moving, and the friendships naturally improved his mood. The sense of being useful again, of being needed, gave him a reason to take better care of himself. His story is not unusual. It is, in many ways, the quiet story of retirement health in America today. So what can you actually do about this starting this week? The good news is that rebuilding connection does not require dramatic life changes. It requires small, consistent steps. And you don't have to start with anything big. The very first step can be what experts sometimes call a micro-connection, a tiny moment of contact that costs nothing and asks nothing of you. Chatting for 30 seconds with the cashier at the grocery store, waving to a neighbor instead of looking away, calling one friend, just one, and asking how they're really doing. These small moments may seem too simple to matter, but they gently remind your nervous system that connection is safe and available. They are the on-ramp, not the destination. Once they start to feel natural, you can build toward something a little more regular. A walking group is one of the simplest places to start. Many community centers and parks host them, and they combine movement with conversation. Research shows that combination can be especially powerful for both heart health and mood. Volunteering is another wonderful option. Whether it's a local food bank, an animal shelter, or a literacy program, giving your time to something larger than yourself has been linked to lower rates of depression and a stronger sense of purpose. Feeling needed is genuinely protective for your health. If faith is part of your life, Church groups and faith communities offer built-in connection, shared meals, and people who will notice if you're missing. Community centers and senior centers often host classes, card games, and discussion groups specifically designed to bring people together. Many are free or very low cost. Your local library is another underused treasure. Book clubs, lectures, and hobby classes happen there constantly, and they're a gentle, low-pressure way to meet people who share your interests. For those who want something more active, pickleball has become enormously popular among older adults. It's easy to learn, and it's wonderfully social. Gardening clubs, coffee meetups with neighbors, and even simply calling one friend every week can make a measurable difference. The goal isn't to collect dozens of new friends. The goal is consistency. Seeing the same friendly faces regularly is what rebuilds your sense of belonging. And here is the surprising truth researchers keep coming back to. Quality beats quantity every single time. One meaningful relationship often matters more for your health than a dozen casual acquaintances. You don't need a huge social circle, and you don't need to be the most popular person at the community center. You need a few people who genuinely know you and who you genuinely show up for. Helping others, even in small ways, also seems to protect your own well-being. Feeling needed, feeling useful, feeling like you matter to someone else, that may be one of the most powerful health tools available to you, and it costs nothing. If you've been feeling isolated, please hear this clearly. It is never too late to change this. Your body and your mind have a remarkable ability to recover once real connection returns. Robert's story is proof, and so are thousands of others like his. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You just need one small step. One walking group, one phone call, one conversation with a neighbor you've been meaning to talk to. Your health isn't only shaped by what you eat or how often you exercise. It's also shaped by the people who know your name. If this video reminded you of someone who might need to hear it, consider sharing it with them. It might be exactly what they need today. And if you'd like more science-backed, hopeful advice for healthy aging, staying healthy after 60, and living well in retirement, subscribe and join us for what's coming next.